In a mid-1990s Russian design competition, a principal new tank was selected for its potent blend of advanced firepower, modern electronics, and armor protection. It is one of the brightest stars in the arms market today. This is the Russian T-90 main battle tank. Although it's called the T-90, this tank is actually an advancement of the well-known T-72. In the former Soviet Union, it was common to manufacture two tank models in parallel production. An advanced, expensive tank was built at the same time as a less sophisticated, less costly main battle tank. This two-tiered approach was necessary in order to sufficiently equip the mammoth forces of the former Soviet Army. The first high-cost tank was the T-64, later the T-80. Its low-cost economy tank since the early 1970s has been the T-72. Not only was the T-72 built in large numbers for the Soviets, but it was the primary tank exported to the members of the Warsaw Pact. In addition, Iraq, Iran, Syria, Algeria, Libya, and more than a dozen other nations made the T-72 one of the most widely used tanks of its generation. It was also manufactured in Poland, India, the former Czechoslovakia, and the former Yugoslavia. It is still in production in some of these countries. The T-90 is a radical departure from the tradition of economy established by the T-72. It adapts the best and most sophisticated features of the T-80U tank on a less expensive chassis, and its diesel power plant is less costly to operate than the turbine-powered T-80. Let's take a look at some of the features of the T-90, the latest in Russian tank development. The heart of the changes in the T-90 are in its weapon systems. It uses the same 125mm smoothbore gun as the T-80U. This version increases accuracy by 20 to 25% compared to earlier models. A new gun has been developed which offers a replaceable chromium barrel liner to improve the notoriously short barrel life of early Russian gun tubes. But the biggest improvement in the T-90 gun is its ability to fire the new generation of ammunition developed by NIMI, the Mechanical Engineering Research Institute in Moscow. This ammunition includes a full range of armor-penetrating, fin-stabilized, discarding sabot projectiles using tungsten alloy and depleted uranium long-rod penetrators. Alternative types of ammunition include a new family of high-explosive anti-tank rounds, a round with a depleted uranium cone, and the world's first tank round with a triple charge system to defeat advanced reactive armor. NIMI has developed other innovative ammunitions for the T-90, including a high-explosive round designed to airburst over enemy infantry or anti-tank positions using a timed laser pulse. T-90 also fires the full range of Russian guided projectiles, such as the Reflex and the new Agona. No matter how powerful the gun, it is nearly useless without sophisticated fire control systems. The T-90 employs a derivative of the fire control system used in the T-80U, along with a new digital ballistic computer and wind sensor. Traditionally, Russian tanks have trailed their Western counterparts in night fighting and have been slow to adopt thermal imaging night sights due to their cost, as well as manufacturing problems associated with sophisticated sensors. But as the Gulf War of 1991 clearly demonstrated, thermal imaging sights are a necessity on the modern battlefield in order for tanks to find targets accurately at night or when smoke or fog obscures daytime targets. As such, the T-90 can be fitted with current Russian thermal imaging sights such as the Agava. It has been widely reported that the T-90 is equipped with a T-80U turret, but this is clearly not the case. The T-90 does share a similar fire control and gun system with the T-80U, but the turret is based on the earlier T-72B. The T-72B turret was retained on the T-90 because it was the best protected contemporary Russian design. The T-72B uses a version of Chobham armor consisting of a basic steel armor shell, equivalent to 15 inches of steel armor, alternating layers of aluminum and plastics, and a controlled deformation section. In addition, the T-90 has a layer of third-generation Contact 5 reactive armor applique. offering a 34 to 57% increase in protection at a very modest weight cost, about 3 metric tons. This package gives the T-90 the equivalent protection of 32 inches of steel armor against kinetic energy penetrators, and the equivalent of 48 inches against shaped charge warheads common to anti-tank missiles. The T-90 is one of the first tanks with a defensive electronic system that combats missiles and other precision-guided munitions. Called Stora-1, this system has 4 elements: electro-optical dazzlers, laser warning detectors, anti-laser smoke grenade launchers, and system controls. The 2 devices on either side of the gun tube are electro-optical dazzlers that confuse tracking systems used by wire-guided missiles. This system is supported by 4 laser illumination sensors on the turret that warn the crew when enemy lasers are range-finding or designating targets. When enemy lasers trigger the sensors, Stora automatically launches smoke grenades to shield the tank and issues a warning to the crew of the laser designation. One of the main differences between the T-90 and the T-80U is in propulsion. The T-90 uses an 840 horsepower diesel engine, while the T-80U uses a 1,000 horsepower turbine engine. A turbine-powered engine generally offers more power for a given weight and space than diesel power, but tends to consume more fuel. Diesel engines, while more economical in initial purchase costs and operation, have only recently had their power outputs reach the level of turbines. After unfavorable experiences with T-80 turbines in the Chechen conflict, the Russian army selected diesel-powered T-90s. But this decision has not been universally accepted, and many Russian tankers still consider the T-80U to be the superior design.